still not subscribed to the Partition, you know, it's a lot of ways that you can do this besides watching all the content. But before we start, always remember, go to the channels link. Every show that we have, you can always see every show before everybody else see the show. But besides that, always remember, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, put it on all. Until then, always remember, anything is possible. Thank you for choosing the Partition. Now let's get into the show. Anything is possible. Peace.
Billboard music producer.
Billboard. There ain't no PPP money. Yeah. Come on, wait. I want to laugh. Welcome back to Choppin It Up with Lil Ron. Today in the studio, we have a very independent lady. This is the ultra entrepreneur, and this is like a different type of interview that I actually experienced. So I want you guys to welcome the one and only Miss Saraya Scott. Did I say it right?
You did.
Okay, I got it right. AKA Miss Mother Trucker, right?
That's correct.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, when I said Mother Trucker, I almost said it sound like you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is when I bring people on the show, I always turn back around and actually introduce them to my fans, and I let them introduce themselves to my fans that don't know you. So basically, kind of get them a quick little synopsis of who you are, and we can go from there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Saraya Scott. I am the Mother Truck and Diesel Diva, kicking down the doors of the male-dominated industry. I own trucks and box trucks, big rig, and taking over the trucking industry.
Man, you know, this episode is actually kind of good to me, and it kind of touched home because I had a actual cousin, which his name was Leon. He actually was an 18-wheeler driver. Probably been in the game, I give it about 6, maybe 7 years. Then he ended up branching off on his own, and he ended up getting killed. He ended up passing away. A guy didn't want to allow him to go and was rushing and went against the guardrail. And from there, he ended up losing his life. He left behind 3 beautiful children and 2 girls and a boy. So that's why because normally when I do the second segment of my show, I always dedicate that to him. Now, to come down to trucking, quick, a lot of things I do want to ask, because a lot of people, first thing I want to ask is, do you ever have to deal with people saying, do you do dispatching? Because people always ask that.
Yes. I get that question often, and I do. Because owning trucks, I mean, obviously I need to dispatch my own, whether I have a dispatcher or not. There's, somebody might call, a broker might call, and say, have this load, and I'll just dispatch it for one of my trucks or pass it along to somebody who I know could run it.
And, sometimes people ask me this question all the time. Is it a difference between a dispatcher and a broker? Because some people ask me that sometimes, like, hey, man, I'm looking for a broker. Well, I got this person that's a dispatcher. No, I don't. I need an actual broker. What's the difference between the two?
Well, the dispatcher essentially is going to get the load or the work freight from a broker. So just kind of alleviating the middleman, so to speak. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever turn back around? Nowadays everybody is always on this. I'm finna start working for Amazon. I'm finna get my own truck, and I'm finna turn back around. I'm finna do these loads with Amazon. Do you actually ever have that problem? Do you actually book for them too, or FedEx or UPS? Because people be using their cars now. Right.
Well, actually, I started with Amazon. That's how I got into, moving up with my own trucks. I worked on the floor first I studied the industry before I got in. Then I decided, I knew I wanted to become a freight broker, but I wanted to learn all the aspects surrounding what my job would be. So I went into Amazon and I started loading trucks. From there, I did a little dispatching for people I knew, got my own box truck, and started working delivering packages from Amazon to the post offices. So a lot of people do jump in a business and want to go straight to Amazon. It's not as
Easy as they think it is.
it's that, and it's not as lucrative as it was when I first started. But it depends on where you are, because I know every place is different. Here in Texas, I started here. It's not doing so as good as it was. So
In the beginning,
yeah,
almost like 3 or 4 years ago, but actually before the pandemic, it was money making. People was on it left and right. But now, I mean, people make money because everybody obviously order stuff offline all day long.
Yeah, it's dedicated freight, so it's work that's always going to be there. But when you look at like the pandemic happened and all of that, it kind of changed a lot of things. So people used to get in and then go straight, get ready for peak season, because that was Amazon's biggest, prime time where you can really make money. But even the last peak season wasn't as good as it
was at first.
Yeah.
Okay, do they, like, when you're dealing with dispatching, do you have to worry about people telling you that, hey, this load was damaged, or something was missing out of this load? Do you ever have that problems? Because a lot of people, they do that. They're like, oh, this load you sent me, it was late, it wasn't on time. Do they deduct that money from money that you actually supposed to get, or how do that actually work?
It's so all the load, everything that's carried or that's on that truck is covered. It's insured. So that's one thing. You can't even take the load unless they get a COI or certificate of insurance. Okay. So I've never had personally an experience where something was missing. Something being damaged, yes, but it was not the fault of my driver. It was the fault of the shipping when they loaded it. But I always make sure that we take pictures of our load and secure it. So we were already proactive and sent images to the broker, letting them know, hey, they didn't load this correctly, and they did pay us to reload it.
Gotcha.
When it arrived, things were damaged, but because we had done our due diligence, we weren't at fault. But that does happen.
A lot of people that they don't understand pictures are as important. I had an incident. I sent my motorcycle to a dealership, and we just cut an episode previously, so I knew how it looked. But when the guy said that they normally take pictures of every bike that actually come, my bike came back damaged. I said, that's not the way I sent it to you. So what ended up happening is, thank goodness I had the video and the pictures of the episode that we cut. I showed it to the guy when he said that we take pictures when the product arrives. I said, I tell you what, pull your video, pull your pictures, and you tell me. He couldn't present that. So they had to end up redoing my whole bike. Even though he didn't like it, I said, hey, man, you can't say it was these people over here, because these people showed me the video footage. So that's like, you're right, that's like very important that people do not understand. Do you ever get any type of criticism because you're a woman and you're so powerful in this industry and you dominating and you making money? Do you ever have men that try to get mad or try to belittle you and say that this is a man's job? I mean, you have no business being here. Some people, they do that. They don't like to share the lane with other people.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, I was actually prepared for that, knowing that I was coming into a male-dominated industry, but I have gotten way more support than not. Maybe like 1 or 2 times I've had a gentleman say, like, they'll watch me unload and see me struggling. Then one guy said, where's your husband?
Hold on, wait.
And I'm like,
hold on. I had to make sure I know you a boss. Don't get me wrong. Did you just say that you had to, you're not only a boss, you actually get out there and get your hands dirty and unload it? See, I didn't know that. I thought you sit behind a desk.
Sure do.
Okay. And that's good, because that set an example. Especially when you get to work and tell me, man, you don't understand how it is to be taking these loads and unload. Yeah, well, I do know, because I do it just like you do it.
And I don't ask a driver to do anything that I wouldn't do, So yes, I will get out and I will unload and I will load, and when in the box truck, of course.
Man, that's actually good, because you show, that's leadership to me. That shows somebody like, hey, look, I can get my hands dirty. I can get my nails. I can break a nail. That don't matter to me. I can go get that replaced, man. I can turn back around and get out here and do this. I can go to a business meeting and I can sit down with these big time companies and talk boss talk and tell them, hey, look, this is what it is, because I know the experience of being an actual driver / businesswoman.
Right.
So you can't tell me that this is what we should be getting paid when I know that job is going to require this. This is what we should get paid. And so a lot of people, they don't understand that it's nothing wrong with working for Walmart. It's nothing working for Amazon or whoever you can work for. But you can make more money being your own boss. And I think they too afraid of going out there and they feel like, well, man, I don't want to get the $500,000 insurance or $2 or $3 million in insurance. Do you ever have drivers that approach you to say, I got my own truck, I got my own insurance, or I got my own truck, and I want to work up under you using your authority? Now, if I don't know nothing else, I know that word. People always say, can I work up under your authority? Do you ever have that problem? And do you tell them yes? Do you tell them no?
Yeah, it's not a problem either, though, because I understand the responsibility that comes with running under, the regulations of the FMCSA. And there's a lot of compliance and money and time that goes into making sure you're staying, in compliance or on top of everything. So it's not a problem when people ask, but it just has to make sense.
Gotcha.
Because obviously when you own your own equipment, you want to make the money or the type of money that where you can pay for, your insurance and,
maintenance.
Yeah, or just the lifestyle that you want to have because you have your own. But the risk that comes along with running someone else under, my authority has to be something that is considered. But a lot of people don't want to pay the percentage because
that's right.
But so I'm like, do you want to do this? Because I have to make it make sense for me, But yeah, it's not a problem. It just has to work. If the situation works and that we can come to an agreement, then it can definitely be something that could happen.
Do you actually, in being in that field, besides authority, do you ever have the problem where you have time? Do you have children? Do you have any kids?
I have 4 boys.
Do your boys feel like it takes from y'all time, y'all one-on-one time?
Well, my 21-year-old started with me, so he's still driving.
Keeping it in the family.
Yes, and my boys, they help me. So in the summertimes, I don't drive anymore. I have drivers now, but they used to ride with me over the road, and they help me wash the trucks, clean them,
Wow.
So I involve them as a way to kind of spend time with them and teach them something at the same time. Because even if they don't want to be a truck owner or transportation company, at least they'll have some work ethic, that some experience in entrepreneurship from watching me.
Got you. Do you have to, this is what I want to know, do you have to have a CDL license to drive a box truck? Now, I heard 2 different stories. One person say, man, you don't need that. You can just drive, man. And somebody said, no, you got to have a CDL. Do you actually have to have a CDL to drive a box truck? Because I know that's the smallest vehicle.
So with a box truck, as long as the weight, the GVW, the gross weight, is not above 26,000 pounds, or you cannot carry more than that, then it is considered a non-CDL. So typically, your 26-foot box trucks and less, like 24-foot, those are non-CDLs. When you get into the 28, 30-foot, they can haul more than 26,000 pounds. Those are usually your CDL required box trucks.
Okay. I also see a lot of times I watch stuff on the news. I always see DPS, HPD pulling over box trucks or the regular trucks. Do y'all ever experience problems? Like, do y'all, even though you caring for your client, are y'all reliable? If let's say if somebody had something illegal inside of the actual truck, are y'all responsible for that? Even though y'all picked up the load.
Oh, you mean like if we picked up an illegal load?
Let's say if I'm selling plugs. I got a whole bunch of plugs I'm selling. So on your invoice, it's showing that you're picking up 15,000 plugs. But they say they get stopped on a regular routine traffic stop, and let's say if in the boxes with the plugs, it's really not plugs in there. It's actually some type of drugs inside of that. Are y'all still responsible for that? Do they make y'all take the hit?
I don't know specifically,
okay.
But I would like to find out and I'll get back to you on that. But what I will say is I always make sure, and I always tell my drivers to make sure you know what you're carrying.
Gotcha.
It's your responsibility. I don't care if they say it's tissue, you better go back there and make sure it's tissue. You know what I'm saying? So that's one way you can say, hey, I checked, I saw tissue. When I looked, now ain't nobody been back there. And if it's somewhere where it's like a sealed or locked, then I guess you wouldn't be held responsible. But
because I think sometimes when they do they do the thing, I don't know if they still do it. I remember my dad worked in Hollow. When a truck used to come in, it was a seal. He has to break that seal. Whenever they took that stuff and loaded it in there to send it back, he had to snap the seal back on there. And if they got a truck and the seal is broken, they won't touch it. They won't. They will not do that. Do they still do that in these days?
Well, some freight require, or they put the seal on, but not all of them do.
Okay, not all of them. Okay. Well, do you ever find yourself basically want to venture to do other things besides doing the dispatching and the freight?
Within this business, yes, because there are so many different lanes. There are so many different ways you can make money in this industry. It's $1 billion industry, so you don't even have to own a truck to be able to be in the business and make money. Wow. For example, I just hired my sister, and she just handles my invoicing. That's a whole job by itself, you know.
Yes, that is. That's a lot of following.
Since then, I have, sponsored her dispatching. She wants to dispatch, and now, but she's seeing that 'cause she thought that she wanted to get a truck, but she's like, oh, I get to kind of be in the business without even really having the equipment. So yes, there are so many other things that I want to get into: warehousing and air freight and water freight.
You don't ever think about I did. I end up working with some people, and they end up sending me over interns so I can show them how we do the film production and stuff. Do you ever have people that you say, hey, somebody recommended me, I'm going to give you a job, I'm going to put you in a place? You know, a lot of people, especially, I admire this because it's a woman that is actually doing this. And a lot of men, they don't like to give a lot of women an opportunity, and if they do, they too busy trying to flirt with them. They don't take them serious as like business like it's supposed to do. And seeing your presentation, seeing how you are, seeing your attitude, and seeing how you are, man, I can't say nothing but like positive stuff. And I see and I feel nothing but like good energy coming from you. It's like I love to see us win because it's enough money out there for all of us to get.
It is.
We can get the money just as well as they can get the money. I never thought that I will see the day where I will be where I am right now. I may not have all the big stuff that Oprah or Tyler Perry got, but my studio setups are just as better as theirs. I'm right. Doing this. I got my audience that I have. I got people that come in, they love the show, man, and I love to give people opportunities to have their voice heard because everybody needs to be heard when it comes down to it. Now, we come to the segment, which is called Leon's Top 5. As I told you in the beginning, Leon is a cousin of mine that got killed by 18-wheeler, and I always dedicate this segment to him. What is your top 5? It can be R&B, rap, gospel, reggae. It can be jazz, blues, whatever. What's the top 5 artists that you like?
5 artists?
Yeah, 5. Any 5 you want.
Okay. I'm going to say Chrisette Michelle.
Oh, man, I like her.
Maxwell.
Okay.
Just to kind of switch it up because I just don't have one favorite. Carrie Underwood.
Okay. I know it's hard. Trust me.
It is really hard because I listen to a lot of stuff. I'm trying to go into rap now.
Okay.
Right now, I'm going to have to say Future.
Okay. You like
and
Future.
And then I do. Nicki Minaj.
Can't go wrong with Nicki, man. I don't get in between they battles between each other, but I tell a lot of artists like Salt and Pepper, like MC Light, like Queen Latifah, Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, Mia X, you have Trina, you got the Brat. Then you got your Nickies and the rest of them that come behind. All of them don't understand. Every one of those artists has had to pay the way for the next one to come. So regardless if Remy Ma is doing this, everybody had to see somebody and say, hey, I want to be just like her. Or I'm going to be better than her. So it's enough. I think if they take the time out, You never heard Salt and Pepper getting into it with Queen Latifah. I ain't never heard that
Right.
before in my life, man. You don't never hear Yo-Yo saying that she finna go up against it. If they doing it, they just doing regular battle rap where it's actually fun.
Right.
These days of time, man, they be serious. When they don't want to mess with you, they don't want to mess with you. When they don't understand, we can come together and we can make more money. If they sit back and think about the amount of money that they can make if they put their beats to the side, that one record can probably make them more money than they made in a lifetime off that one thing. Because they'll be like, we never thought we'd ever see the day that both of these come together
Right.
as one. Man, they'll make a whole bunch of money. Now, how can the people find you?
Well, I am on Instagram, Mother Trucker, MUTHATRUCKHER.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also online. I have a website, cmtranspo.com.
Okay. Now, do not inbox this lady and ask this lady is she married. Matter of fact, are you married? If you don't mind me asking.
No, I'm not married.
She's not married, but she's not looking. This woman is about strictly business. If you want
Business only.
Yeah, if you want a load, she'll get you with a load. Help you what you need to actually get done. Do you ever deal with people that just want to drive and say, hey, I want to get a job with you, but I'm a convicted felon. Ain't nobody gonna give me no job. And I want to come see if I can come drive with you, but you ain't gonna hire me because I got a bad background. Do you ever have to deal with stuff like that? And do you actually give them a chance, or you be like, nah, I don't really want to do it?
Yes, and I'm unique to this business because one thing I pride myself on is being fair and giving people a fair chance. I didn't tell you in the beginning, but my company is Carl Michaels Transportation, named after both of my brothers, Carl and Charles Michael, who are currently serving their 25th year under an outdated law that Congress even deemed unjust. So, yeah, we're still fighting for their freedom, but I wanted to create an avenue for them when they come home. They will have, something positive and lucrative to be a part of. So I am always advocating for prisoners or prison reform. Yes, absolutely. Everybody deserves a chance. A lot of felons or people with criminal past gravitate towards this industry.
Right.
One, because they can make a lot of money really fast and they can see a clear pathway to entrepreneurship.
That's correct.
It's unbiased. There's not a lot of fine tape when it come down to background. Men and women both go to jail, go to prison for mistakes, and then they pay their debt to society, and then when they come home, society never accepts the payment.
That's right.
So instead of marking this felony on them all the time, they are able to come into the trucking industry. So yeah, I give people a chance, but also with that being said, I am not somebody who just will say, "Oh, you've been in prison, come on," you really have to prove yourself.
Yeah,
because
that's right.
Not everybody is deserving.
You are definitely right. I had a guy that was on a few weeks ago. His name was Vaughn. Served 20 years, came out, struggled to get himself together, try to get himself right. Even though his old friends wanted him to turn back around and get back into what he wanted to do, he said no. Ended up making money off of doing CPR training.
Oh, wow.
Probably got one of the top companies in Texas right now, making like 6 figures off of CPR.
Wow.
And he was a actual white guy. We had a nice conversation. He's a book writer, everything, spiritual guy. I had a uncle that was incarcerated for 10 years, and he just started delivering parts, and he always wanted to be in that type of business. I have tons of women that ask me all the time. They want to go and drive and do dispatching, and a lot of men, they turn them down, and they get discouraged, and they say, well, I'm going to figure out something else. And I tell them, man, to keep your head. I said, I got to the point where I was actually finna go into business in about 4 months just to give those women an opportunity, because I hear a lot of women that come and tell me they always get turned down. And I was like, they want something. No, they don't want to help me. They want to sit there and say all this stuff.
Figure it out. That's what I did. I didn't have a lot of help. Because I'm somebody who is going to research and kind of self-educate, but I got the truck and I figured it out along the way. I didn't have anybody saying, okay, next do this, but I met people along the way that was able to help me after I got started. So if nobody's helping you, figure it out,
That's right. That's right. You never let nobody
Google,
hold you back.
YouTube,
YouTube
get you a mentor.
else.
Hire somebody like myself who's done it before and someone who is successful, and pay them or see what it requires for them to coach you.
Mm-hmm. And you know, baby, good. Your story is so good. I love it so much. You ever thought about actually making a documentary on your life and how you put your stuff together? I mean, I'm just telling you. I told Mikhail Rose that on my show that she will be good, and she never thought about acting. She said, "No, I'm just gonna be singing." She acts now. I'm telling you, I see it before the world see it. I'm telling you, that's something, because that's how we get our voices heard. Because there's another woman that's in another state that's gonna sit back and they're gonna watch this interview and they're gonna be like, "Oh man, she can do it. Man, I can do it too."
That's right.
So I enjoyed you. I promise you, I am going to bring you back.
Okay.
But guys, always remember, anything is possible. Thank y'all for choosing Chopping Up with Lil Ron. Until next time, we out. Peace.